Our planet is our home, and she needs healing. This is the time to act to prove that we care. Let us come together as one consciousness and bring up in our hearts the most beautiful and most powerful feeling known to humanity, the emotion of love. Together we can revive our beautiful blue planet, ensuring that she thrives for future generations. By collectively connecting with universal love, we can rise our own and the planet's vibration and aid in its healing. Join the 1 Million Meditators global movement today. Welcome everybody to Conversations with 1 Million Meditators. I'm so excited today to be blessed by Anna from the Wellness Universe. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you, Tara. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm really privileged and blessed. Thank you so much for asking me.
Yeah, I'm so excited we finally get to chat. I'm just going to take a moment and introduce you to everybody. Anna is the founder of the Wellness Universe and the CEO of Soul Ventures, a women-owned business where her mission is to make the world a better place. She's an inspirational leader, mentor, and connector for business owners who are changing the world. And there's so much more, so just check the bio in the show notes. But yeah, I'm so excited to dive into this. I came across the Wellness Universe several years ago, and I just absolutely love what you're doing and the work that you're doing in this world. So thank you for all that you do. And
You're welcome.
So of course I want to ask you about meditation and how that first came into your life.
Well, I'll tell you, do you want to hear about my first experience actually with meditation?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Okay, cool. So, my second. Okay, I'm going to give you my first one was at a Sylvia Browne experience at the Learning Annex, through the Learning Annex in Manhattan. That was my first one. It was a guided meditation. I really didn't even know what meditation was until I went through the guided meditation, and she led us down this guided meditation where she took us to this place where you sat down in a chair and you turn your head and somebody's sitting next to you. And I saw my grandmother, and it was crazy. So the power of meditation was dropped on me like a ton of bricks at one time. And I never really knew the power of meditation for myself until I had become really, really, really close friends with this very highly sensitive and gifted woman who was a spiritual medium. And I was going through some rough times. I've been an entrepreneur and a solopreneur, a very creative person all of my life. And I was working alone, and it was really starting to get to me and really get into my head. And it was just a rough time. She's like, why don't you try meditating? And this is before I started really becoming like a thought leader and influencer around spirituality and mental health and emotional well-being. So this was all very new to me. And she said, so why don't you meditate? And I was like, well, how do you do that? And she's like, well, there's a couple of ways and methods that you can use in order to get into meditation. And this is before all the apps. This is like back in, I don't know, 2005 or 6 or something like this. And she's like, just imagine yourself filling up with water. And as you do that, you go into a meditative state. Well, I tried that and it didn't work for me. So what actually worked for me was my mind is always going constantly. And for me, I have to imagine, sort of like your background, I have to imagine a white room with white furniture. So everything is like whited out, but there's things there. So my brain knows that there's stuff in the room. And then I walk over to this huge panoramic window that's looking out over the ocean. And when I do that, I go into this meditative state in my mind. And the first one that I ever went into was extraordinary because I was really seeking my life path and my purpose and what was what was everything up until now all about and what was the point of everything. I was really in that headspace. I was really like, going down that rabbit hole, and I really just needed some clarity, and I needed to find who I was. I might cry while I'm telling this story because I've only told it about 2 or 3 times verbally, and I wrote a blog about it a long time ago. So it started out where I was in this cabin or in this room in the middle of the woods. And it was a dark room, and I had a blindfold on top of it. So I'm walking around in circles in this dark room, no lights, one little cabin room. And I feel a presence there with me. So I knew that I had to take this blindfold off me and then find the door, find my way out. And then once I got out, it was almost as if it was the dark of night in like one of those scary woods where the trees are all bowed over into each other, and you know what I mean? Like in a scary Disney type of kind of way. It was like I had to find my way out, and all of these trees were blocking my path, and kind of, it was really hard to get through these woods. There was no clear path, and I felt this presence behind me the entire time. And I'm going and I'm going, and as I start going along my path, it starts to spread. There starts to be a little bit more of a path, and the path turns into a little bit of a dirt road. And then there's obstacles in my way, like rocks and boulders. And as those boulders become smaller and they become pebbles, I feel this presence getting closer to me. And as I keep walking, and this is where I almost cry, it starts to open up more and more, and it seems like it's getting to the early morning hours, like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And that's kind of like life mirroring the hours of time in the day and the journey that I was physically taking in this meditation. Almost like a lucid dream it was. And as I was going, everything started opening up. I was able to hop over logs. I was able to kick pebbles out of my path, almost like telling me life is going to get better. Life is going to open up. Life is going to be better for you and easier. And as I kept walking, everything started opening up. And then I felt this presence walking alongside of me. And then I looked behind me, and this is crazy too, because I looked behind me and it was just a sheet of black. Like you can't turn back. There was nothing to fall off of, but it was just black. There was nothing behind me. There was no past. I couldn't fall backwards into it, but yet there was nothing there, almost like a velvet curtain, if you will. And then I met this spiritual woman who showed me a book, and this picture in this book that she had sketched for this book was the same thing. It was Jesus with this black behind him, no beginning, no end, but like you can't go backwards, you can only go forwards. And it was Christ there. So in my meditation, I felt that it was Christ walking behind me, then alongside of me. And then as everything started opening up, then all of a sudden this path, like a brick path, was laid out in front of me, and it was high grass, and then the grasses got lower. And then as the path was laid out in front of me, he was gone. And it almost like he's inside of me now, or like I could do this, right? So as I continued to walk, the grass got a little bit lower, and then all of a sudden a snake came out, and I knew to stomp on the snake and then cast it aside. And then a rabbit jumped out. I knew to gently pick him up and put him on the side. And then as I looked out on this path, far off in the distance was this humongous rainbow. And so that's where it all ended. That was my very first experience with meditation, before I now know how to meditate as a collective and do other forms of meditation. But that was my very first real experience of me sitting down, getting into my own headspace where we all say, oh, I can't meditate, I can't be still enough. It was beyond powerful. It showed me that certain obstacles, how to treat them, and how there's so much hope, and to just keep going.
Wow, that is just beautiful. I absolutely love that story that you shared. And And that's the thing I find that's so amazing about meditation is we usually remember those first experiences when we really meet and find meditation and how it's changed us, in so many different ways. So thank you so much. That was just beautiful. And I would love to ask you a little bit about the wellness universe because I'm sure everybody would like to know. But what inspired you to start this? You've got a beautiful community full of amazing people. You've now been a bestseller on, I think, 4 books with this community that you've grown. So, yeah, I would just love to know, where did this come from?
Thank you. I love talking about the wellness universe because the wellness universe is a living, thriving organism, if you will, because it really is all of the members and all of the amazing folks who make up the wellness universe, the wellness universe. Virtually, it's a website, thewellnessuniverse.com, and you go to it and there's a lot of people on it. But inside, we are amazing healers and helpers and people who believe in the power of love and healing. There's so many different modalities of which our coaches represent, and whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual paths that anyone is on to improve their well-being and their experience of life. And whatever it is they're looking for, if they're looking to have some grief support, if they're looking to have some stress support, if they're looking for help with anxiety or depression or their life purpose, or they're on their spiritual journey, the Wellness Universe has amazing people who are there to access as coaches and guides with their own one-on-one support, group support, classes, articles. We put out a lot of social media content that's just inspirational, as well as very very applicable to today's what's going on in today's world and what we need like right now. Last week, I know that we did the emergency relief and reset, and we brought 6 different dynamic speakers who are there to support well-being through these turbulent times of right now, this war that we're having in the world, along with COVID and so much loss that's happening. So that, for instance, was like an emergency response curated event based on these times. So the Wellness Universe is just a welcoming place for anyone who practices wellness and supports wellness. And it's just a lovely place. And I'm really, really blessed to lead that and to know all the people that are there. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, well, I've met some incredible people through your community. Hello, if you're watching, guys. But you've just grown such a beautiful community there, and allowed people to be seen and to be heard and to share their gifts and what they bring into the world. And of course, tell us a little bit about your best-selling books. They are, they're so, well, books are so great, and they can be such a great tool to, just pick up and shift your vibration and, give you different ideas and, expand your mind and things like that. So tell us, congratulations, by the way, because I know you just had one come out.
Yes. The most recent one was this one, the 25 Tools for Goddesses. So it's the series is the Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care. They're all found on Amazon. The first one was hot on the heels of COVID, beginning, and we put that together and released that one first. That was 25 Tools for Stress Relief. And then, of course, 25 Tools for Happiness. And we have International Day of Happiness is upon us in a couple of days. And then 25 Tools to Achieve Anything, which I had the amazing John Paul DeGioia. If you're not aware of who he is the co-founder of Paul Mitchell and founder of Patron, self-made multi-billionaire from son of a single mom, living, homeless for a minute. And he did the foreword for Achieve Anything. And then we have 25 Tools for Goddesses and the wonderful Karina LeBlanc, who is an Olympian. She's the manager now of a soccer team in US. She's an amazing, extraordinary woman. She did the foreword to this book, and all of the books contain 24 to 25 of our coaches, guides, and healers sharing a story that you can connect with. And no matter if you're a man or a woman, these stories are pulled from their lives. So obviously, you can always relate on some level to somebody's story. And then they share a self-care tool, which we can all do. So number one, no batteries or charging required for a book, which is great, right? You don't ever run out of battery. And then number two, all the tools are self-care, so you can do them yourself. So there's no investment of anything afterwards, just you doing the work to make yourself feel better. And then if you feel that you need the help of that expert, every one of these coaches are accessible as a person and a human being to support your well-being journey.
Awesome. And of course, we will put in the show notes or the link below where you can find those books, and check them out and get yourselves a copy. Because yeah, like Anna says, you don't need any batteries. And sometimes, what I love about those type of books is, they've got so many different stories in them, like as you say, 24, 25 stories, that if you don't have time to sit down and read an entire book, you can work through it. And I always find sometimes, you open it up to like just the perfect message, the perfect story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So absolutely love that. Now, Anna, I would just love to ask you, after, you shared your experience with meditation and you've started the Wellness Universe, and you had mentioned, your experience with collective meditations. What have you seen now that you've brought this many people together, whether it's in the Wellness Universe community, but gathering together, for meditation? I know you guys have done that on Clubhouse and different things like that. What's your experience with the energy and what that can do for humanity?
I really, truly believe that there is a magic to the collective consciousness. In fact, we have, you mentioned the room on Clubhouse. It's Voice Your Intention, Collective Consciousness, Voice Your Intention room on Monday nights at 7 p.m. in the Feeling Good Club on Clubhouse. And several of our leaders and healers from the Wellness Universe get together and we share our energy, and we put our energy onto the guest who's up on stage, their intention to manifest whatever it is in their life. And so not only us, but everyone who's in the room. I truly believe in the power of prayer and meditation, and when we're just putting our positive energy out. And also when we say prayer, I think meditation is also a form of prayer. And I don't think prayer has anything to do with religion. I think this is all just part of the whole, it's all the same thing. And it's putting out positive words, putting out blessings into the world, and giving thanks, being appreciative, having gratitude, and honoring something bigger than you, and knowing that you have a part in this, and your part definitely connects to other parts. And if you play your part in a positive way, you are making that a strong bridge for the next person's part or next energy's part to play their part in a high vibe. And if we can keep that chain going and we can get that ripple effect and those layers to happen, I do feel that we can heal the planet. I really do. I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetimes, but I do believe that there's so much more to energy as we know it. And many of us already understand. Obviously, the audience who tunes into this type of programming feels this and knows this. It's an absolute knowing that it is our energy, and it is the shared energy, and it is our thoughts, and it is our heart space that makes the world a better place, period. So we need to heal ourselves. We need to do the best we can for ourselves to be our best self, so we can keep putting that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love that you just mentioned that. I want to take a moment and say hello to Stuart, Daniel. I see some others that have popped on. Please post in the comments, say hello, tell us where you're joining us from. We always love to hear from you. And if you are catching this on the podcast, please leave a review. We absolutely would love that. And thank you in advance. So Anna, what's new coming up here with the Wellness Universe that people can tap into? I know you had had mentioned you've got your clubhouse room on Monday nights. But as for, being able to go to the website, I know there's classes and things like that that are posted through coaches and workshops and such. Is there anything coming up right off the top that we could let people know about, where to go and check that all out?
Yeah, sure. So right on the homepage of the website, and don't forget the word thewellnessuniverse.com, we typically have kind of like what's going on at the moment, or what's happening right now, and access to what we call the lounge. It's our learning platform. Our members are able to host different classes, sessions, and workshops there. So they're putting up their classes and workshops whenever. So you just click on the link for the learning center, and then you go over there and you see what's going on over there. Every day we have a brand new blog written by a member of the Wellness Universe. It's inspirational. We have the members. You can go and check out the members themselves. We have a couple of blogs running now for the International Day of Happiness to encourage a little more happiness in the world, which we definitely need that. And I just wanted to mention that even in the midst of everything that's going on, it's so important for us to be happy and for us to embrace it and not feel guilty for our own happiness, and to want to be happy in the midst of everything that's going on, because we need that vibration and we need to be happy and carry that torch of happiness and joy in order for it to spread. So I just wanted to make mention of how important happiness is in our lives. And since it's International Day of Happiness coming up in this time, that please embrace it, please embrace it. But really, everyone just posts new things at different times. So just check out the site and you'll be able to see all the different things that are coming up. We have this year we are skipping Soul Treat because of COVID. We were still unsure. Soul Treat is our annual live retreat event, but we're going to be doing it next year. So that's the next big live event that's going to be coming up.
Awesome. That is absolutely amazing. And again, check the show notes below where you can find the links to the Wellness Universe, but it is the wellnessuniverse.com. And I will mention to everybody too that is listening on to stay tuned again, because we do have our next global event coming up in April, the 22nd, 3rd, and 4th, I believe. And we are joining forces with some different monasteries across the globe. So the energy and the vibration for the 72 hours that we will be holding space for is going to be incredible. So stay tuned and pay attention for the details of that coming up. Anna, is there a particular tool or strategy or things that maybe you use that work for you, maybe even aside from meditation, when you were going through your own journey, from where you started to where you are today, and the leader that you are, and the community that you've created? Like, was there something in that early beginning phases for those that maybe are going through a massive shift right now, or feeling this call to change and to step up and to serve in a different way? Is there something that helped you specifically that you maybe tap into?
I think that well, one of the things that really provoked me to create the Wellness Universe, because I already had this humongous following on social media and everything, but what was important to me was to create an awareness for everyday people to the different modalities and the different ways we can heal ourselves. So for me, I think that just be open to the awareness of so many different ways to help yourself to be your best version of you. Keep your heart space open, stay vulnerable. I think that in my journey, many times I felt pressure to be like, I had to know it all. I had to have all the answers. But it's okay to not know all the answers, as long as you have people around you to help you find the answers or help you find options. So you have the awareness to make the choices to lead your best life. And I think that that is probably one of the most important tools. So it's about having community, being curious, and being open to being vulnerable and having the awareness.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And community, I think, is such a big thing that we need to remember these days. Back in old times, we really tapped into our communities. Like when I think of my grandparents and, how they would gather and get together and help one another out in community. It's a lot different than it is today because I'd say the Western world, we've become so busy and moving through things that sometimes we lose that sense of community. You walk up and down the streets and you don't even know half of your neighbors sometimes, versus before, you would probably know everybody on the street and who their kids were and who their brothers and sisters were. So, especially I think too, this last couple of years of being a little bit more isolated and not seeing people, really that sense of community and getting involved and finding the people that resonate with you. And, as you say, have a support system is just invaluable. There's no words for how valuable that really is. Now, can I ask you, if I was to give you a magic wand and you could do anything you wanted with it, what would you like to do?
Oh my God. That is
It's just a little one, right?
I know that is a huge question. Just really just it would put me out of business, of course, but for the whole world just to be healed and just to be, and every human to be living from their best space is really what I would do with that wand.
We just need to manufacture more wands and we'll just pass them out to everybody.
What would you do? What would you do?
Yeah, it's such an interesting one too, because, like initially, I think everybody always wants to say, just, I want to create peace and I want everybody in the world to be happy. And, I think for me, waving my wand and really, I think opening up people's perspective, their awareness to outside maybe the picture frame of looking beyond the veil and just really being open to seeking and to experiencing life kind of almost from that childlike perspective again, of curiosity, being curious about everything and open to what the answer is. Because, when we were children, we don't know what the answers are. We ask the questions, we seek them, they come. But, we get so analytical sometimes and we overthink things so much. So I think just really having that expanse of awareness and just being open to receiving and to the unlimited possibilities that the universe has available. I think I'll try to do something like that. Yeah.
I love it. Can we order those wands on Amazon, do you think?
I think we should, this is a good one. We should get started here. These magic wands. Everybody needs them. It's a good business idea. Anna, it has been so awesome having you here today and just sharing your energy, your experience, talking about the wellness universe. I'm so honored to finally get to sit in this space with you. Is there anything that you want to leave us with before you go? I know you've given us so much, but of course the floor is absolutely yours.
Thank you. No, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. And I'm hoping that, somebody just gleaned a little bit of inspiration from this conversation. The one thing I want to say again, and I want to reiterate this, is don't feel guilty for seeking and living in your own happiness, especially when we're going through these turbulent times, because it's needed. It is okay to sit in your own happiness and yet have respect and reverence and everything for everything that's going on, and acknowledge it and feel it deeply, yet be able to be happy, because your happiness vibration and your vibration of love will help to raise the vibration of the planet. So you need to be there. And I feel that a lot of people are struggling, and this is what's causing a lot of anxiety and depression. And it's okay to be happy. It is okay to find your joy. And I'm giving you permission to do that. So that's really what I want everyone to walk away with, because I think many of us are struggling with that right now.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. We did just do like a little happy dance here and share the good juju. But yeah, I agree, right? We need to keep that vibration up. And I love that you said that. Just give yourself permission to be happy, to experience joy, even though we're going through this, because the more joy that we experience, we're just going to share that out. When you see somebody smile, it's lovely to smile back and express that joy. And we can do that now. So let's do more of it. So thank you so much, Anna. It's just been wonderful. Thank you for those that dropped on. If you are catching this on the replay, please hashtag replay. And again, post in the comments. Let us know where you're from. We always love to hear from you. And of course, we will be back again next week. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you.